Today, in the second part of our Frozen special, I'm going to show you how by attaching a little Olloclip lens to our phone, it's going to take your photography into another world. I'm also going to show you how we can photograph some tiny textures frozen in ice and how we can transform a natural look photo into a wonderful, colourful, funky art print using the wonderfully versatile app iColorama.
AdoramaTV presents iPhoneography with Nicki Fitz-Gerald.
Macro photography or close-up photography is absolutely wonderful for revealing those little hidden textures like in leaves or fruit that can't be seen by the human eye. And if you add some ice to the mix, you're going to get some wonderful translucent textures and frost forming on the top, which looks absolutely brilliant under the macro lens. Now, light is absolutely key to what I'm going to show you. So we've got ourselves a nice position here by the window with the light coming through. I've got myself on a nice sturdy table and I've got my GorillaPod, which is going to keep our shot nice and steady. And I've got the mount attached, which the camera can go into. Now, the Olloclip lens I'm going to use is a 4-piece kit. We'll be just using the 10 times. Now, the reason for that is the 10 times is going to give us much more of an area within our frame in focus. Great for getting lots of patterns in focus. The 15 times is great, it's closer, but it's a tiny area, good for ants' heads and little spider details. So the way we get to the lens is we just unscrew the wide-eyed lens that sits on top and we just attach it to our camera. Now the first thing you want to do is give it a little clean with a microfiber cloth. These are dead cheap. Just give it a little wipe and also give your little camera lens a wipe as well. That's going to ensure your picture is nice and sharp. Now just pop that on to the camera, click that on, and then set the camera up into the mount. Avoid the shutter buttons on the bottom. And what I'm going to do is going to photograph these leaves against the light. So I've got myself a little support here, a nice soft support, and I've got the leaves here, which look absolutely fantastic, frozen in ice. And I've put them on a plastic plate because they come away really easily from the plate. So I've also put a little bit of plastic. You might be able to just see the transparent plastic around if you were to tape them to the windows, which is another way of getting the light come streaming through. That would help you attach those to the windows. So let's just put that there. We'll put our beautiful leaves up against the window. Look at the light streaming through. That looks absolutely wonderful. I'm just going to sit those so they're nice and firm. Hopefully they're not going to rock anywhere. And you can see the textures of the bubbles coming through. So we need to get our camera nice and close to the leaves here. Just position our tripod down like that. We need to put Pro Camera on. And let's just select that. Pro Camera is fantastic because we get nice high resolution files. And we're just going to move that around until we get something we like. There's some really lovely patterns and textures, lovely blue coming through just behind here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the timer button on because that's going to avoid camera shake. But just before we do that, let's just make sure we've got that nice in focus. By clicking on the screen, we've got the focus reticle here, so we can just move that around a bit and get our focus nice and sharp. We've also got a little exposure reticle here, so we can just move that around if we want to adjust the light in the frame a bit. And once I'm happy with my shot, which I am, that looks absolutely wonderful, I'm going to press the timer button, 3, 2, 1, and we've got our fabulous shot. Brilliant. But don't just stop there. Try some other subjects like this frozen cactus, which looks absolutely wonderful when it's frozen in ice. The little textures and the flowers look absolutely beautiful. I'll move my camera in so we can have a closer look at exactly what happens here when we freeze this little cactus and these little spikes here appear with their little bubbles. It looks absolutely delightful. A really, really wonderful magic world existing in there when we look at that under our Olloclip lens. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm using Pro Camera. I'm going to just get the exposure and the focus reticles up by clicking and dragging on the screen. We can move our exposure around to make that slightly lighter or darker. Now that looks just about right. We're getting a bit of detail in the flower there. And then just let's move our focus around and get that just on the flower and the little details and the bubbles there. That looks beautiful. This will look lovely as an image on itself, or if you like doing collage work and you like integrating backgrounds with other images, this will look beautiful and soft. So let's have a look. We'll just press on the timer because that's going to give us a nice steady shot. Perfect. Wonderful. Now, another great idea with a cactus to get some lovely frozen results is to actually sprinkle it just with a little bit of water and then freeze the results of that. And this is going to give you tiny little blobs of ice on the cactus spikes, a lovely combination, those little round icicles on the sharp spikes of the cactus. Now, let's have a look here, get in a bit closer with Pro Camera and just have a twist around and see what we can see. Now, this cactus has got, here we go, there's little blobs here. If you could just see those little ice blobs. It takes a bit of practice. Sometimes you need to sprinkle quite a bit on. And we can just see one here on that edge. It can look absolutely beautiful. And there you can see the little spike, and it's got a little ice blob at the end. The spike is the center of the image. We'll just focus in on that, get the lens nice and clear. Let's take our exposure down to this bright area here, just to get a bit more even light on the subject. Again, bring our focus reticle in, tap on the timer, 3, 2, 1, so you get a nice steady shot, and that's a beautiful little detail with that ice blob. Now I just spotted another one just down there. If you can just see that little blob down there, let's just focus in on there. We've got our camera in a nice position. Let's press the timer, and it just gives a little bit of extra sparkle to that cactus. Another frozen idea. I'm really happy with the leaf photographs I've taken today, and I particularly like this one. This one's wonderful. It has a lovely strong line going through the middle of the frame. We've got all these lines around the edge and these beautiful little textures just inside. Now, this is a shame to leave it on the camera roll where no one can see it. I'd love to get this printed out like the ones you can see behind me here. But this time I'm going to turn it into a really colourful, funky print, and I've got a great app for doing that. iColorama is a fantastic app. Let's get the photograph into that and see what we can do. So we'll open the iColorama app. We need to click on Image from Library and then select our photo. Now, I know I've got it in my Favorites folder here. So here's the photo. Click on the highest resolution one at the top because that's going to give us the finest quality. And then let's see what this iColorama app can do. We've got a big word at the top here, select, and we've got all our different effects in a menu there. Now, presets here is great if you just want to have a little look and see what you can do automatically. We've got patterns in there, we've got colours. There's a lovely pink colour, transform that really quickly already. But I prefer to experiment a bit. So let's have a look and see what else we've got on the menu. Now, I've just clicked on Form, and then here we've got some really great little effects. Click on Warp, and you can just start to stretch that image around. Try another one. We've got Deforms here, which is instantly going to change that into quite a radical, abstract piece of art. And Glass is really beautiful. It's a more natural effect. Now that would be good enough to print now. It's giving it a little sort of pointillist effect, which is really quite beautiful. I like that one. We've also got other ones on here, but I've got to remember what I'm going to do, and that is I want a colourful pop print. So if we go into Adjust, we've got some great options here, including Vibrance. Click on Vibrance, and you'll see when you click on Set down the bottom, we've got an option to slide saturation right up. Now watch what happens when I do this. You can see that's really brought some magnificent colour into the image. I'll click on Set again. If we bring the gamma down, that's going to bring the blue in the background right up. And you can see that's instantly transformed that image. If you can see the possibilities with just one image, how we can transform this into lots of little prints, we could have a great set here of images. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to save that down, click in the top right hand corner, save it down to your photo album, and there it is. It's now ready to print out, and that's exactly what you can do. We've shot our image with a high resolution camera app. We've edited it in a high resolution app, so you can actually have that printed on the wall and have something like this all from your iPhone. And I think that looks absolutely great. But don't stop there. Not only can you have your photographs on canvas or prints, you can print them on glass and get these lovely little coasters. It's easy to do. Take your photographs, transform them in the app, and then just make your own art for your home. That looks fantastic. So what are you waiting for? Grab your Olloclip lens, grab your camera and photograph some lovely natural forms and textures. Find some leaves, anything you find, freeze it in ice, put them through the apps like Mextures and Snapseed and create some great art for your walls. You'll be amazed how easy it is and how beautiful the results are. Don't forget to subscribe to AdoramaTV, where you can find lots more information on iPhoneography related items and all of our products. We'd love to hear what you think, so please like or share our videos and comment below. You can also hop over to the Adorama Learning Centre, where you'll find lots more hints, tips, tricks and tutorials on iPhoneography, photography and lots more information about all of our products.
Do you want great looking prints at low cost? Be sure to visit our easy-to-use online printing service. Adorama Pix has professionals who treat your images with the utmost care that you can count on. For a quick turnaround on photos, cards, or albums, use AdoramaPix.com.